Hello guys and welcome back. In today's video we've got a Bannerlord Q&A for the new year from Captain Lust, also known as Frank Elliott. Now he's their community manager and he's answered a bunch of the community's questions on the Tailworlds forum. Now I'm going to be going through some of the main questions that were asked, and I hope you guys do enjoy this video. It is nice to see some Bannerlord news eventually arriving. Now you probably haven't heard this yet, and I would definitely recommend watching this video rather than trawling through the amount of text that's on the forum. If you're interested in what's in this Q&A, I'm going to admit it's not the most exciting thing. I've just gone through it and taken out the best bits, and I'm going to explain them to you now. So we begin with Captain Lust's introduction. He basically says that he's back from his Christmas holiday, which I think he definitely deserves after working very hard on the Invasion update that I think is very fun. Now, they are very focused on making progress on the game, obviously Mountain Blade Bannerlord, but he's going to be honest with us, and he says he hasn't had a lot of time to work on the blog. However, he is turning his attention to it now. Currently, they are focusing heavily on the combat of Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord, working on something that they can start using for external testing. He then goes on to say in whichever form that takes. So he basically still won't tell us whether it's going to be an early access, a beta, etc. I guess that's still left to speculation. The team understands the hunger for news, and it won't be long before another Bannerlord update is released. He then goes on to say he will answer any questions, which are as follows. The first question basically asks, what part of the combat will they be working on? Frank then replies rather obscurely by saying everything, trying to make it look and feel great. Now, let's be honest, they can't really say a lot. He's not allowed to say a lot, and he did state that in the intro. However, he is telling us more than he should, and I think that's brilliant, and you'll see that later on. The second question states, may I presume polishing the combat is to make it presentable for a beta or something else like a balanced testing? Lust then says, you certainly may, and then says in brackets, you would be right to do so. This suggests the reason they're working on the combat is to put it in a presentable state. So that may mean they're going to have a closed beta for certain people, or they're going to have an open beta where we can test it, or it's going to be for showcasing the next gameplay. Who knows? Moving on, another user goes on to ask, any possible explanation on mortality, and then in brackets saying players aging, dying, etc. Lust then replies with a paragraph basically saying that he can't tell us right now as features may be added or dropped in the final game, and he doesn't want to 100% confirm something, but it could suggest that it may be in the game, but it also suggests that it probably or could be taken out of the game. Next, Frank confirms that there is no form of external testing going on, there's only people at the office of Tailworlds playing it. So if you have seen any demo or download Bannerlord here, it's all fake, don't even bother. I've made a video about this before, but just don't download anything that's to do with Bannerlord, it's not real. He then goes on to say the hair may have physical properties, basically meaning it may move, because we saw in the gameplay that it was very static. However, he does admit they hadn't really thought about it, but they have noted the feedback. So we may see some hair animations, who knows. The next question says, we see shoulder pads like wolfskin scarves, etc. Are these going to be in multiplayer? Lust then replies saying, currently multiplayer uses the same equipment slots as the single player, and we have no plans to change that. Now, I'm not really sure about that answer. If you can make sense of that, please leave it down in the comments, because I'm not sure. It probably means we're only going to be able to use 4 slots, and there's going to be no other additions to the character, because that's how it works in single player. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work. At this point in the questions, there's a lot that say things that he cannot answer, and he basically says he cannot talk about them, so I'm going to leave them out completely. The next question reads, are Battanians Vegas? He then goes on to ask the question, Nord invasion ? Frank then goes on to say, no, they do not have an equivalent among the warband factions. Culturally, they are mainly inspired by the British Celts, specifically the Picts, and the Picts were basically the people that the Romans kept out of northern Britain using Hadrian's Wall. The user that asked that original question then goes on to say he didn't actually mean the Battanians, he meant the Sturgians, or the Sturgians, I don't really know how to pronounce it, but his brain basically shut off for some reason. And then Lust replies, oh, ellipsis, I probably should have realised that if I engaged my brain in that case. Sort of, yes, but 200-ish years prior. So that does kind of confirm that the Sturgeons are descendants of the Vegas, I think. Now, it's a little bit confusing. If you can make sense of that, I'm proud of you. The next question asks about server sizes, and Lust replies saying that they haven't tested the game with more people than there are in the office, so they can't really say, but they have high ambition for a high server population. He then goes on to say that they won't be at PC Gamer, which is very annoying. I was hoping they may be at that because they could show off some more Bannerlord footage, but that obviously isn't going to be another milestone. We're going to have to wait for some sort of other release. However, they did say earlier that it's going to be soon, so hopefully we'll see something soon, and I really can't wait for that. The next question asks, are you able to turn off permanent character death? And Lust basically says, no, you can't turn it off. This could mean that there's a reason for permanent character death. If your character dies, your legacy carries on with your son. Again, this is speculation. It may be how it works, who knows, but all we know is that you cannot turn permanent character death off. The next question says, can we expect something in our hands over the next 2 months? Then Lust says, that's a little early and doesn't really go into any more detail. One day, guys, we will get a release date. We will get a date where we can expect Bannerlord. Who knows when that will be, but eventually one day our suffering will end. Although I can definitely understand why they're doing this. They want to make the best possible game they can. And I think revealing the release date puts them under a lot of pressure. And I don't think they need that pressure right now. Someone then goes ahead and asks about the co-op campaign. And he basically replies with, we're still remaining with the answer we gave in the Rock Paper Shotgun interview. Which basically read, they may have to limit co-op campaign to 1 party. As having 2 parties is very hard to do. And they will only add it in if it's 100% effective. He then says there will be no form of stamina at all in the game. I know a few people thought that there would be, but that is definitely not going to be in it, and I'm very glad to see that. This is not Chivalry. Another question asks about the combat AI. Then Lust basically says there are more impressive aspects of tactical AI that haven't been shown. He says the AI's behaviour will depend on army size and composition, I presume factional troops, etc. So if one faction's in your party and then there's another faction in the party and they have conflicting views, there's going to be some interesting goings on in the army, let's just say. He then goes on to say different tactics will need to be selected for different situations. At the PC Gamer event, we showed a Lord placing his troops on high ground to use as a strong defensive position. There's more to it than that, but I cannot give much away. And it's a shame they cannot give much away because I really need some Bannerlord news right now. And I'm sure a lot of you feel the same. Although I can understand why they do it, there's obviously a lot of pressure when they give out that release date because everybody will be expecting it to come out then. And that just isn't what Tailwoods want at the moment, obviously. And I think they can take as long as they want to develop the best game I probably will ever play. Now, just before the outro of this video, I want to show you some concept video for Bannerlord. This is not made by anyone in Tailwoods. This is completely standalone. Someone has made this themselves. Slovak actually gave it to me, and he's the owner of the Steam group that told me about all this information. And you can go ahead and join the Bannerlord Steam group. It will be in the description down below. It has nearly 25,000 members, and it's doing so well. Anyway, guys, you can take a look at this. I apologize for the low quality. I mean, my quality is quite low anyway, and I don't really know how to fix that. But here you go. I think that was really well presented, and whoever created that, I'm not really sure, but make sure to leave a comment and I will make sure you get recognition for it, because that was absolutely amazing. I'm not really sure what that's off, whether it's off a game or something, who knows, but I think it would be brilliant to see a castle such as that one in Bannerlord. Anyway guys, that will wrap it up for another Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord video. Now, if you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button, and if you are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe. Hopefully by the time this video comes out, we'll be at 10,000 subscribers, and there's going to be a few things going on. I'm definitely going to be doing a Q&A amongst other things, so I'll ask you to leave questions down in the comments now, and then we may get to see them answered in the next video, or maybe the video after that. And I'll also be doing quite a lot of other things for my 10,000 subscriber special. It won't be a face reveal. That is not happening because I'm just a really insecure person, and I'm not. It's fine. Well, that will happen at a later date. Anyway, guys, that will do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely brilliant day, and I will see you in the next one. One more thing, guys. Down in the description, you'll find the link to my Patreon. I was advised to set it up for 10,000 subscribers, and I have decided to do so. I'm still setting up the tiers and building the Patreon page, but if you want to go ahead and check it out, make sure to click the link in the description.